All right, hey everybody, Jeff here. So, let's talk record store day and recent things that came in and other things. So, as you can tell, I'm in a different location today. So what I'm going to be doing today is threefold. As I said in my last video, I went out of town for the Thanksgiving holiday. I arrived back home today, and we got some mail, as you can see. So we're going to do some unboxing. I want to discuss record store day real briefly, and this is only if you want to watch till the end. I'm at currently my church, and what had happened is the church decided to buy some new equipment. I talked them into getting me a new drum set. So here's what we've got. We've got a bunch of boxes. This is the new drum set, and we're going to speedily put it together. This is the old drum set. It is just a old low-end Simmons kit. Really, you know, you can see we're a fairly small church, so it's not like we need a lot. I've had this one here for about 8 years, and you know, some of the pads are starting to kind of go. Plus the rubber pads, which means they make a lot of noise if the volume is not high enough in this room. And so I went with a mesh head kit. So yes, after we show all the records and talk music, I'm going to do a speed time lapse thing of me putting the drum set together, and we'll see what we get with it. All right, record store day. I was out of town. I was down in an area in North Carolina, retirement town, no record stores, none at all. No record stores within 30, 40 miles. I don't even know where they'd be. Other towns, other cities over. Didn't have time to go to any of those. Don't know if any of them participated in record store day. Didn't really have time. Wasn't there long enough to worry about it. Really, when I looked at the record store day stuff, there was really only one item that I really wanted, and that was the Anthrax. So I wasn't too worried about not going, because I thought, whatever, it is what it is. The Anthrax would just be nice to have, but it wasn't like I had to have it. So we got home today, and we unpacked everything in the car, and I said, well, you know, I have enough time. I can run by the church, put the drums together, and on my way to church, there is a record store. And so I went in, and lo and behold, sure enough, they had one copy. Now, if you're not familiar with this, it's 6 songs. It's a live EP. It was recorded in 1986 in Germany. So it's an interesting little piece of history. And if you haven't seen the numerous other people show it, which I've seen it already, so I'm sure you probably have, it is on, stay there, an orange and black color, not a polyline sleeve, lots of static. So that was it. That is my record store day. I got one. I didn't have to stand in line. I just went the day after, and here it was. Fortunately, I got it. Now, while I was there, they have a section where they put the new used items. You know, when they come in the door, they put them in this first section before they intermingle them with the rest. So I flipped through there, and I found a couple that I grabbed. They're all like $7, I think. Deep Purple's Who Do We Think We Are? Now, I've had this on my list for a long time. I see copies all the time. I see the reissues all the time. But it seems like every time I find one, it's in pretty bad condition. Now, aside from the fact that the store puts these on them, and that little scratch there, I found this one to be in quite decent condition. And it's a gatefold. Now, the telltale sign is what's the vinyl going to look like? Because I've seen some that look pretty rough. You can't really see it here, but get some glare on there. It looks unplayed. So I grabbed it because it's been on my list, and I was fine with getting an original versus, a reissue. And then this, I hated these guys back in the day. I scorned them. I just didn't like them. And then when you grow older and you start to appreciate other musics and you start to appreciate bands, I said, if I ever see one of their records out in the wild for a decent price, I'm going to get it. And I see them, but they're always in fairly rough shape as far as the vinyl. I went ahead and pulled this out and opened it up. Anyway, I got the Stray Cats. Now, I had a friend, one of my really good friends back in high school. She loved the Stray Cats. Her and I, we both loved Adam Ant, and we actually are still, friends now, and have went to 2 different Adam Ant concerts together in the past 10 years. But she really loved Stray Cats, and I always made fun of her. I always hated them. I just thought they were stupid. This is the day when I was listening to everything with hair and metal and spikes, and then this stuff comes out. But Brian Setzer, I've learned to appreciate. I love his orchestra stuff. I love all of his stuff that he does with that, and I really appreciate them as musicians. Now, it was in great condition, typical scuffs for the age. Now when I opened it and the sleeve was turned this way, I knew that was a good sign. As I've said numerous times, that tells me somebody has taken some care, because they're going to pull this out before they're taking the album out. It's not going to fall on the floor. And when I pulled it out, again, I don't see, it does not look like it's been played. It is no fingerprints, no dirt. It was in immaculate condition. I had to get it. So, got me some Stray Cats. So that was my record store day and related for that. Now, I did go, and in my last video I talked about how I was going to Myrtle Beach, and a couple people commented on in the comments saying to go to Kilgore Trout's. Turns out that's really about the only record store in our area, and it was literally 8 miles from where we were in the resort we were in. All the other record stores that I could find were over an hour away, it seemed like. Unless I was missing something, I'm asking Google for record stores. So I went to Kilgore Trout's. Now I went there and didn't really see anything that I wanted. They have a lot of good records, a lot of good used stuff. There was a couple things I could have bought, but it was just random stuff. Some jazz, Billy Cobham, Spyro Gyra. They had a Mile Lefevre album back in his old days that I was going to get, but I just thought, these are just fillers. I don't need to be carrying these around on vacation. There's nothing here. I looked in the news section, and I saw something that caught my eye that I thought, didn't Scott Waters mention a long time ago that he needed that? So I texted him, hey, did you need this still? And he said, yeah, I do. I said, well, they got 3 of them. So he said, get me one, and I went ahead and bought myself one. And we're talking about Venom with Manitou. Is it Manitou, Manitor? I don't say Manitor, but anyway. It's a little 7-inch picture disc with this nice, their typical evil looking stuff. And I went ahead and got a second one. So yeah, they had that, and I grabbed that. Now there was an album that I saw there that I've never seen, in the flesh. Seen it online. Never ordered it, it kind of passed me by. It came out in 2016. And I left it. So then when Sky said he wanted this, I had to go back to the record store. And I thought, well, while I'm going back, again, we were in the neighborhood because everything around this record store was where we were hanging out. I kept thinking, maybe I'll get that album. Why? Yeah, I could get it online for maybe $2 cheaper, $2, $3 cheaper. But the more I think about this with this whole COVID thing and all the businesses that are going out of business and the small mom and pops and the big companies that are staying afloat, I thought, I just had a more of a conviction to support local business. So I said, I'm going to pay the $2 or $3 extra dollars. And I picked up Profit by the Jelly Jam. Jelly Jam, you see this? Are you familiar with the Jelly Jam? What it is Ty Tabor from King's X on vocals and guitar, John Mayung, the bass player from Dream Theater, and Rod Morgenstein from Winger, Dixie Dregs. He was in Twisted Sister for a while. And they have, this is like their 3rd album. And they put out an album every decade or so. I don't know. They put out a couple. This one came out around 2016, and the one prior to that was probably 10 years before that. I don't know. They've had Jelly Jam 2, and then this one. And I have the digital tracks of this and have listened to it a couple times. And, it's decent for the stuff they do, but I didn't really jump on the vinyl. But, I thought it's $20, and I've seen it online with shipping would cost me $18. So I would get it to support local business. So I did that. Now, that was all the physical purchases. Everything else here is mail order. And let's just jump right in. Some of these people have shown already. One is from Walmart. I pre-ordered it from Walmart because it can be a pain to try to get them and they on hand. And when they had them online and they sold out really quick, and then they added them again, somebody said, quick, they're there again. And so I jumped on to get it. It's a limited edition tricolor version of the new Iron Maiden live album. Yes, another live album by Iron Maiden. It is a live in Mexico, and it is on the Mexican flag colors. So you got red, white, and green. And they have other versions out there in colors and different places, but this is the exclusive from Walmart. So I bought this online, and it came right around Thanksgiving. As with most Iron Maiden things, the insides are very nice and sturdy. They make these things really high quality. Nice, solid, opaque green. Got the custom label, center rings. So yes, I am an Iron Maiden nut, and I'm, slowly catching up with all the vinyl releases. Let's open it. It is a triple album, trifold, all kinds of pictures. I saw them on this tour. It was great stuff. Let's see if you can see that. Ugh, it's hard to hold these. Got all the tour dates on there. I saw them when they came to Virginia. All right, one down. This was a under $10, I believe this is what I'm thinking of. This dropped to about $12 on Amazon, and I grabbed it. Dee Snider's, one of his solo albums from a couple years ago. This was a solo album. The We Are the Ones. This one came out, and it's kind of on the more commercial side, and then when he put out the next one that came out a couple years later, it was more on the metal side. But I've always dug this. I always thought it was a great album, and so I wanted to get it. This is the one that if you've seen the We're Not Gonna Take It piano version, this is the album it came from. It's a very touching, moving, mellow rendition. If I'm not mistaken, it is on some pretty colored record, yeah. Like pink. Kind of a pink marble. Hard to see the marble part. Again, this was I have that program that monitors my wish list on Amazon, and it popped up. It dropped below 15. It was like 12, and I thought, grab it. In the video I showed where I had the Metalhead box, I showed that one band, Vanik. Kind of a horror-based music, punkish metal. The vocals reminded me at times of Kronos from Venom, so I really dug it. So when I got the record, I was really thrilled to have it. This is all kinds of tape on it. So then I went online, and sure enough, I went to their Facebook page, looked around, and found out that all their first two albums were also on vinyl. Sadly, they were released overseas by a foreign company, and the first album is totally out of print. So, but they did have the second album, so I grabbed one of those before it went out of print. They have in multiple colors. Well, there's two. Black and this like green marble. And they had both in, and I went ahead and grabbed the green. I thought it would be fun. Check them out. Check them out online. Very interesting. So I wanted to get the first one, and I actually talked with the band, one of the guys in the band, and he said, yeah, we need to repress that first one because it's hard to find. Now these I had talked about, these were due to come in. I thought for sure these would come in before I went on vacation, but then these are the ones I said that ended up sitting 4 hours from here in Maryland until they actually came on Monday after I had left. So they've been sitting at home for a week. These are the recently reissued first and second albums by Flying Colors. I've mentioned them before, kind of a super group. You got Mike Portnoy on drums, Neil Morse on vocals and piano. You've got Steve Morse on guitar from Deep Purple, Dixie Dregs. Casey McPherson on vocals and guitar, and Dave LaRue on bass. And it's just, they're phenomenal, multi-talented, melodic, all kinds of melodies. You got to check out Flying Colors. I already had the first one. I was able to track this down when it was on vinyl after I got back into vinyl. Got it for a decent price. The second album has been outrageously expensive because it came and gone. I never could get it. So they reissued both of them, and they're both on blue vinyl. Third album has got a blue color theme, is blue. So I kind of wonder if they're just making them all match. Both of these, I believe, are double record sets. So we got pictures, gatefold. This is just absolutely one of my favorite. It's got autographed by Neil Morse, because I did buy these from Neil Morse's site. This one likewise, autographed by Neil Morse. Likewise, it is there they are. It's a gatefold. And it likewise is on the same blue. So there you go. That is it as far as the vinyl. I open up all of my mail now. So at this point, I am going to switch gears. You don't have to watch any more beyond this. This is just for fun. I hope the time linked on the video didn't turn people away so they wouldn't watch the records. But if you don't want to watch me real quick put this drum set together and maybe even play it at the end if I can get it to work in here, then you're free to go. Thanks for watching, and rock on. But otherwise, for those of you who want to stick around, let's get this thing going. so I got it all together, got it all plugged in. I had to pause the video for a minute, move the kit over to where it belongs because I realized I have to plug it in. It's got to be close to the wall. And I got it all hooked up, kind of tinker with the wires a little to make it look a little better than usual. I probably would eventually redo the wires and strap them all down really good. But got it plugged in, got it tested, just wanted to make sure it was working, got the PA turned on. So I'm just going to play a little and see what we got here. Gotta get used to not hitting the rims because they make different sounds. Okay, well that's it. I got a lot of tinkering to do to figure out all the sounds that this thing has. But for now, it's done. I can play. I can do it. If you're interested in seeing some of my other musical things of what I've played, scroll through my channel. I have some of my band videos on here. I have some other things from the past. I still actively play occasionally in a band, and some of that stuff is just some live cover stuff that we've done in the clubs. Anyway, if you watched this far, thanks a lot, and I will see you later. Rock on.